What's going on, guys? It's your guy Wes Alexander. Look, we're in the garage, we're chilling, we're about to be smoking the La Gloria Cubana Series R. Let me see if I can get that to focus for you guys. It's tough with these iPhones. I'm recording with the iPhone, so. But there you go, it's the Series R. I believe they used to call this the number 5 V-cut, as always, right? I typically, see, I can't get that thing to focus at all. Anyways, V-cut, there you go. V-cut, look, typically that's what I like. It's like a really good V-cut. I use the Calibri, I believe it's called the SV. I've had this thing for a very long time, but you have straight on one side, and then on the other you have their V-cut. So really nice cutter. I swear by it. In Calibri, I don't know if you guys know, but they have like lifetime warranties for their cutters. So this is what I've been using, you know. Swear by them. As far as for my lighter, this is a vertical, I believe. Cheap lighter, but these things are like bulletproof. They're like mini tanks, man. They work pretty much forever. I think I might have enough juice in there, but I might have to refill, so bear with me. But let's go off a light. Yeah, let's go off a light. Let's get in there. So, you know, for the newbies that you know, you guys are new to the whole cigar world, but you want to get more into it. I kind of swear by, you know, the idea of toasting it before you actually light it. So the idea is you guys want to get the foot of the cigar warm. That's going to be, you know, not the cap, the other side, but get it warm enough, toast it, and then proceed to puff and light at the same time. I mean, you know, you guys do what you want to do. That's my preferred method. It's worked for me for years. I'd say if you want to have the best experience with your cigar, try to light it properly. Don't burn and roast your cigar to the point of no return, and then you're gonna have a horrible experience. So start right? Look, man, I'm thinking about, you know, for, you know, it's been a while since we did a video, and we're gonna cover some tasting notes on the cigar, but you know, I kind of want to do something a little bit different. Maybe we'll dive into you know, just doing what we do in the garage typically. You know, I'm gonna look into, so I ride motorcycles, right? Well, I should say I used to ride motorcycles. A buddy of mine and me, we've been talking more about him getting his license. And I talked to my cousin recently, and he wants to get his license. My cousin, his dad already has his license and a motorcycle. So it's really putting me into a place where like, it's like, all right, cool. Like I would love to, you know, I talked on too much already. I already let the cigar go out. But it'd be cool to have, you know, a situation where, you know, I got people to ride with, and of course I'm running out of juice. Terrible, absolutely terrible. There we go. Just enough to get it back up. We'll try to get it lit this time. But yeah, just enough to get back into, you know, the whole, world of riding. You know, they've been inspiring me to dive in back into it, you know, and I'm looking at what, you know, what's available out there, you know. So what I used to ride was a Suzuki Bandit 1250, the newer ones with the ABSs. Guys, side note, if you like Maduro sticks, this is just one of those sticks that just will never get old. You know, it's just perfect, right? But stay on topic. Been looking at, different motorcycles, and I don't really want to get on anything like the 1250 Bandit, just because it was slightly uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't as uncomfortable as like a sport bike, full out sport bike, because it was more like a standard upright bike. But I'm not a small dude. I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'3" on a standard day, right? So leg space is needed and the whole nine, right? So initially, like every other American, you look into touring bikes like the Harleys and whatnot, and they're cool. Don't get me wrong, like I really do enjoy the way Harleys look and sound and ride, and I think it's cool. For me, I think what would suit me a little bit better is something a little bit more upright, something I can take on longer rides without all right, let's backtrack. I test drove I believe it was a Road Glide Ultra back when I was riding, a lot. And as comfortable as it was still a little bit. Those bikes are really heavy, and they are kind of low slung, So it's I don't know. I felt like I was hunched a little bit, and I know you can dial all that in, but what you can't do is make the bike taller. And when I'm stopped, my knees are bent, and it's it's just, I don't know, the weight, I don't know how to put it. It's stable, but it's not really, it's just not really ideal. It's a touch. It's just low. It's just low, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I like the upright style. I like things like we'll look at some bikes today, but I like the adventure bikes that are out now. They're taller. They offer, with that height, you get more leg space, right? Because now your seat to peg or pedal or whatever distance is now somewhat increased. Now, back to different, like with the Harleys, you're put forward. You can put forward controls on them, and your feet are forward more, so you'll probably get more, technically less leg bend, so more leg space. But it's just like I said, the positioning is just low and back, and it's just I honestly have no idea, which way I would go. But it's worth looking into. So I got a few bikes up. Let me turn on my screen recording, and let's dive into this a little bit. All right, so here we have, well, let's start left to right. So Honda just put the NT 1100 on the US market. Okay, this was a bike that apparently sold really well overseas. I believe England or London. Overseas. But it's one of those bikes that are just like a really good, standard position bike. This is and to me, I think it looks great. I love the look of it. Slightly sporty, but still looks like it could be comfortable. So I gotta be honest, man. I'm kind of feeling that 1100 is good amount of power. Nothing crazy, right? but I'm not really trying to necessarily, go a million miles an hour. You know what I mean? I just want something that's going to be, comfortable, something I can, have a little bit of fun with, lean into some corners and whatnot. But mostly comfort. And I like the sportier style, right? Like without being on a Hayabusa. Like I don't want to be, for one, that uncomfortable, but I don't have a desire to go that fast. You know what I mean? That kind of power is just a lot. But I'm feeling what they're doing with the NT. Now, I gotta get some more juice, man. I can't keep that thing lit. Give me 1 second. Sorry guys, look, man, I one of my neighbors, he was outside trying to help his daughter she had to get her brakes changed, so he was out there doing the brakes for her, and I noticed he had like this little itty bitty jack, and he didn't have he needed some more stuff. So I got him hooked up with some stuff. So he just came over to drop back off all my stuff and tell me thank you, and drop me off a 6 count of some kind of is Shiner Bock, I think it's called. I don't know, but I'll put it this way. I've had a lot of beers with them and their family, and haven't been let down. So I'm nowhere near a fanatic, and I don't really know what I'm talking about when it comes to beers. But what I will say is that I'm going to put those in the fridge out here in the garage, and they will get, you know what? I'm going to save the first one I have. I'm going to save it for when we do the next video. But back to the NT. The NT is really good option, from what I've been looking at, 1100, that should be a decent enough power plant. Like I said, I'm not really running the numbers as far as like horsepower, things like that go. I just want something that's going to be peppy enough to get on the highway and roll out, and get past a big truck when I need to. And all these bikes are going to do that and more. So let's jump over to the Tracer 900. Now, this is an interesting one because Tracer, I got so much going on that like this is my third time lighting this cigar. I hate doing that, dude. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of a purist when it comes to this kind of thing. Like I don't like to relight cigars if I don't have to. We're gonna hope that this is the last time, although my wife is picking my son up from the bus, so you never know. All right, Tracer 9, no, what is it? Tracer 9. Tracer 9 is an interesting one because I think they just redid the body style. It's pretty clear on the front end. Like, look at these lights. Look how they stack up. That's pretty sick. I gotta be honest with you, man. That's a different look. Same type of bike. All these bikes are gonna be. This whole video is gonna be bikes that are just, your standard upright, more comfortable, relaxing touring, but kind of sporty. Bikes. For the most part, I'm pretty sure all these bikes except for one come with panniers on the back. But this is a cool option, guys. I really do like the look of it. Yamaha and Honda for conversation's sake. They're known for, all the Japanese brands are known for reliability. So you're gonna have a bike that'll stick around. So even if down the road you want to get you something like a Harley or something low slung just to kind of have that vibe going, you don't have to necessarily get rid of this. This can be more of a quick run, or just you want a different experience. I think that's the best way to put it, because you can take these bikes on very long trips and enjoy yourself. But this is this Yamaha is a solid option, man. I really do like this. I'm not sure. I know. So what I do know about the Honda that I really do like is that I think they integrated. Well, I know they integrated Apple CarPlay into their display. That's pretty sweet. I don't know if you've ever if you guys are riders, you'll appreciate that. I'll put it like that. Like that's a pretty sweet feature. I don't know all of what goes into setting it up and making it easily available while riding, or I imagine even just when you hop on the bike before you start riding. But that feature in itself is dope. Now, the Yamaha looks like it might only come in just this one color, which is very interesting. The NT just dropped, but I can't imagine that the NT is only going to be in that blue color. There's no way. That would be, but it just dropped, so I can't really judge that yet. The Yamaha, I believe, has been out for about a year. But look at that price, guys. $12,599. That's really good. That's outstanding. I can get with that. But this is a 900 though, I believe, 890 cc. Whereas the NT is cheaper at base MSRP is 11,899. Destination charge 775. So you're right around the same price, right? But this is 1084 cc. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm going for one or the other, I probably like the styling on the Yamaha just a touch more. But yeah, the styling on the Yamaha is a little more sporty. But I'm feeling that 1100. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a big dude, man. I want that power, not necessarily for going hell fast, but more so just for, being able to get out of the way. Let's jump over to the Kawasaki Versus. This is the 1100. By the way, let's jump into some tasting notes before we dive all the way into this Kawasaki tasting notes on the La Gloria Cubana Serie R Maduro. As always, man, just chocolatey, smooth, creamy, all the roasted coffee notes you could ever want. Perfect cigar for coffee lovers. That's actually where I fell in love with this cigar. I had it with a cup of coffee, and I mean, it's still to this day one of my main go-tos for a stick of coffee. But yeah, you're getting all those classic Maduro notes, man. Just chocolatey, some the roasty, earthy sweetness, and the just this cream and chocolate forward notes. With all the richness in the world. It's just a really good stick. All right. And I'm in the first third of it. But I've had this cigar countless amounts of times, and it consistently performs the exact same way, and it does it all the way until about the last third, and we'll touch on that when we get there. Okay. Kawasaki, sick colors, man. You can't. That's a good looking. That's a damn good looking bike, bro. Man, that's nice. I like the green. The green on the wheels, though, I don't like that. I'll be honest with you. That's a little bit too much. But I like the accents up at the top, and on the panniers. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling the way that looks. I don't know. It's just busy, kind of busy. If I had to sum it up all in one word, it's a busy looking bike. But it's Kawasaki, again, reliable, Really good option. What's the price on this thing? They're not telling you the price. Where's the price? I can always go to build and price, but I figured it'd be on the front. Let's see what we got when we go to build and price. Holy shit. MSRP 1940. No. Man, we can get rid of that. That's insane. For a Kawasaki? No, bro. I'm not paying that for a Kawasaki, man. Don't get me wrong, like I get, why certain bikes are. I'm not paying that for a Kawasaki, bro. Nah, not when I can get a Yamaha or the Honda. For a lot cheaper. It's insane. That is absolutely insane. So you want me to pay 20 G's? I'm trying to figure out like what. I don't understand it, bro. I'll be honest with you. There's no chance. Okay, so we're gonna jump over to Suzuki and see what they're talking about. They're high too. That's 1859 for a Suzuki. It's a beautiful bike. I do not like those blue wheels at all. 1,000. So now, now I can go. What's the CCs? Where are we at? I know it says 1,000, but I want to know exact because it's going to be like 900 and something. It's typically how it goes. Specifications, 999. So I can go, what was it, 1030 on the Honda? 1030, where are we at? 1084, so I get 84 more cc. So it's probably going to be, more than likely, all right, so here's the thing. More than likely, this Suzuki is going to be tuned sportier than that Honda. So if you're looking for more power necessarily, you're more than likely going to get, more out of the Suzuki. I can't justify 1859 when you can get the Honda that to me is, comparable. What was that price on this? Yeah, right here, 11,899. And you come over here to Suzuki and you wanting 7 more grand. That's crazy. Not for this bike, no. So there's that. Beautiful bike. Another one kind of in that class. Like I said, all these are going to be in that same class. But I can't justify that. That's not for a Suzuki. All right, and BMW is going to cost more, but man, you can't tell me that's not an absolutely beautiful bike. It's a Beamer. They're going to cost more. It just kind of comes with it, but it's a Beamer. so it's like it kind of goes like, all right, cool. It's a Beamer, so it's going to cost more, but it's a Beamer. Just a sexy bike, man. Look at that. Like, come on, bro. That is an absolutely beautiful machine, man. Absolutely beautiful machine. I mean, they got the bronze forks on the front. I got a call, my bad. Dude, that is a really pretty bike, man. I mean, a really, really, really pretty bike, bro. It's an X1000 XR. So what are we talking as far as CCs? And don't get me wrong, guys. CCs is 999. Yeah, it's gonna be, but that's not everything, okay, guys. So I'm just looking at comparable features, just like basic stuff. But that doesn't really, honestly, in this class of these ranges for these bikes, that doesn't mean anything, because I can guarantee you half of these bikes are gonna be, they're gonna feel a ton more powerful than that Honda that we just got done looking at. That's a lot more cc's, but yeah, that doesn't mean everything. Okay, so I'm by no means any kind of mechanic or engineer that can break down why that doesn't or does mean anything, but I can tell you from experience riding bikes, that's not nowhere near what matters, to be honest. This is an outstanding looking motorcycle. I love the look of Beamers in general. But this one, she's pretty. She's pretty, but she's gonna cost a lot. No doubt about it. Look at that. Yeah, it's nice. I like that color blue too. It's gonna cost a lot. It's gonna have a premium. It's a Beamer. It is what it is. Let's go to build your own and see what happens. Yeah, see, it was starting off at 19,000. So you already know, like it's gonna cost a little bit for something like this. Pretty bike though, man. Pretty bike. Really pretty bike. Ducati. That's what we got next. This is the Multistrada V4. Ducati. If I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I feel like in this class of motorcycle, I think they're the best looking ones, man. I mean, they are absolute. It's like a Ferrari. Like, look at that. My God. Look at them. Like, come on. You can't tell me that look, man, that's got to be the sexiest. Such a beautiful machine, man. Like, check that out, man. That V4, to me, like, that says, you know what? This price is $19,995, and I bet you that's the starting price, no doubt about it. So this is going to cost every bit of, as much as that Beamer is going to cost. But the look, oh my God, that is absolutely beautiful, man. You can't tell me that you wouldn't appreciate having that in your garage. That's a stunning motorcycle, man. Stunning. I don't know the various levels of comfort with, all the different bikes and whatnot. But man, that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful machine. Absolutely stunning. So, it kind of comes to, what the budget is. Yeah. These are amazing. And what, you're willing to spend on that motorcycle. Let's line it up like this. Let's say they're pretty comparably comfortable, right? And they all pretty much have this similar, like obviously it's going to be different, right? But as far as ergonomics, they're all in the same area, right? Let's say that, right? So we'll take that comfort off the board and say, this is the class of motorcycle that we're getting into, and generally this is how they feel, right? And then you weigh, the looks, performance, and cost. For me, I can say this. I can no doubt say that the Ducati stays on the list, okay? I can say the BMW stays on the list. It's just a beautiful motorcycle. It's hard to, those two are, I think, Ducatis and BMWs are just the best looking motorcycles in this class, on the road. Suzuki can go bye-bye. That's entirely too much money for this class and for it to be a Suzuki. No, we're not doing that. Kawasaki, same goes to you. That's insane. Definitely not doing that for a Kawi. I like Kawasaki's, but no, I'm not giving you that kind of money. Tracer 9, you'd stay on the list. And Honda, yeah, you definitely stay on the list. Honda, the bang for the buck with the Honda, it's insane. It's out of this world. And I think it's a pretty good looking bike, man. I kind of like the little brow that it has, you know. It's a good looking bike, man. Not a bad looking bike, not at all. Let's make that, yeah. There we go. See, I think that's a pretty good looking bike. And if I'm being honest with you, it's a great option, man. Honda, their reliability, they have the DCT version if you guys are into that. I mean, ideally, hopefully they come out with this in a standard. Flies, man, just go away. But ideally, you know, they come out with it in the standard. You'd be hard pressed for me not to want to go for that bike, man. That's a really solid option for that price. And you know, yeah, that's a solid option. So you keep that. All right. So the Tracer 9. Here's the thing with the Tracer 9, right? For me, I think that's a nice looking bike. You know, kind of looks like the Pan America by Harley Davidson. Guys, look that up. I'm not going to bring it up, but look it up. It's an adventure iteration of a bike. It's a pretty looking bike. If I'm getting a Harley, I'm getting a Harley. I'm getting a crew, you know, a Bob or a Cruise or, you know, a Touring, something like that. Right? This is not about that. So yeah. The Yamaha, see, here's my issue with the Yamaha right here. This is going to be the issue. The 890 cc's for 1259, it becomes a battle between Honda and calm down. Yeah, and Yamaha. And for me, you know, if I'm choosing, and that's all I got to choose from, and I'm in that price range, I'm going Honda. It just is what it is. The bang for the buck is better. You get, you know, more motor for essentially less money. And to me, the bikes look comparable. I would say that the Yamaha looks a touch better, but I still like the way that the Honda looks. And it's the NT 1100 that's a really, you know, pretty legendary bike. I mean, at this point, I believe that bike is rolling the same engine, pretty much the same platform as the Africa Twin. And everybody knows the Africa Twin is legendary, you know. You know, you're getting like, you know, to the point where you look at this NT 1100 and you're like, man, if I want something that, you know, I can just keep and it is comfortable and it just lasts me for a very long time, and it's very reliable, I don't know, it'd be hard pressed to beat that, especially for that price. So for that reason, dude, La Gloria Cubana Serie R. Really good stick. For that reason, I gotta take Yamaha off the list. But guys, do not negate, like, you know, if that's like, look into it. If you are, maybe you're a smaller guy than me, you know, maybe this is more so a first bike for you, right? Maybe, I don't know, there's a lot of different, you know, things that can kind of play into this decision. But for me, for my situation, I'm going to have to take the Yamaha off, man. Just because if I'm going for the more affordable option, I'm going for the NT over the Yamaha. Just is what it is. So now we're into the affordable option, which is going to be the Honda for me. And the two options, which is the BMW and the Ducati. So, dude, that is hard because, you know, you end up, oh man, I'm kicking the camera. You end up, you know, you look at the BMW and the Ducati, and you just gotta say, you know, which one is more comfortable, which one looks better, which one do you want to I will say that That's a really hard one. So, if I'm narrowing it down to, I'll put it this way, 3 bikes that I would test ride and check out to see which one I like the most, would be these 3: the Honda, the BMW, and the Ducati. Now, for the BMW and the Ducati, I'm going to want to see which one is the most comfortable and which one, sells me on the experience. Because at the end of the day, if I'm buying one of those bikes, I'm paying a good amount of money for a motorcycle, and I'm gonna need it to sell me on the experience, big time. So, for me, if I'm going to go that route and I'm going to spend that kind of money on a bike of this class, then it's gotta sell me. It's gotta sell me on the experience. Just is what it is. Now, if I do those two and they don't make me feel like I'm riding that much more of a motorcycle, $10,000-$15,000 more of a motorcycle than the Honda does, guys, I gotta be honest with you. Honda starts to look good, Your Honda, here's my thing, right? Let's go to build your own, right? And yes, it's gonna be 1100 now. Ideally, they don't have the DCT, but I will say DCT. Apparently, I haven't ridden one, but they said it's come a long ways. So, if we can get, a good feeling out of the DCT, I wouldn't be totally opposed to DCT having a ride a DCT bike. I don't really want to, but, I don't know, something to think about, especially at this price point. This is absolutely insane. And, yeah, that's a good looking bike, man. It's a really good looking bike. I thoroughly, I like it, Let's go to the rider view. So here's where we're at, right? We're officially in the cockpit of the Honda. We'll go to build your own for BMW. You should be able to do the same thing. Yep, cockpit of the BMW. And Ducati, can you do that? Configure now. Let's see. I don't know if you can get the cockpit view. No, hold on, we're downloading stuff. View change, maybe. Yeah, I don't know how to do it on this one. You probably can, but I don't know how to, which is slightly annoying. So, that sucks. All right. Yeah, so I don't really know how to. But what I can say is that the BMW, while being a beautiful bike, probably an awesome experience, it doesn't have CarPlay. Not that I know of. I shouldn't even say that, but I'm pretty sure the BMW does not have CarPlay. And I know for a fact that Honda does have CarPlay. And that's going to feed into the experience pretty significantly. Now, you have other factors, right? So, think on like it's trying to go out on me again. It's not the cigar's fault. It's my fault because I'm not tending to it the way I should. But, it is what it is. It comes with it. The CarPlay is not, end all be all, right? So you're gonna have things like, some bikes feel cheap, right? Let's be honest, right? So I don't necessarily think Honda feels cheap, but you never know until you sit on the bike, ride the bike, all that, vibration of the motor might make the mirrors vibrate, which is just a cheap feeling, right? Or you might feel it more in the hands or feel it more in the feet, and it might be, it's all about the experience. So, that's what I mean by the Multistrada and the BMW being able to bring the experience that makes you feel like, this experience is now worth 10 to 15 more grand. Yeah, that's gonna have to be a crazy experience. All right, so look, man, that's my take, man. I'm gonna continue to smoke this cigar, man, enjoy this, and you guys, man, let me know what else you guys want to do in these coming videos, man. We can look up, I think the next video, I think we're gonna touch on some what you call cruisers, not necessarily touring motorcycles or sports touring motorcycles like these, but maybe we'll touch into the cruisers and see what we can pull up, for the next video. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be dope. Make for a good time. But for now, man, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out, man. I really do appreciate you guys, man, and it feels great to be back, man. But yeah. Hopefully, depending on how this year goes, man, maybe we can land one of these in a garage and do a review for you guys and show you guys the bike. But until then, we're signing out, guys. It's your guy Wes Alexander. I'll catch you next time.